Last time we saw each other was Happier Days, I think, in Vancouver. Maybe it was Seattle.
Well, yeah, no, you guys played in Seattle and then 2 days later Vancouver, and yeah, I was in Who Heaven for 3 days. It was really nice, and then to have the opportunity to join forces as we are now. It was great to be on that stage with all those fellas, and always a highlight of my whole life, just anytime getting to play with those guys and with you. It really was, I thought that was a really powerful show.
I was literally on my way to the airport to do the UK leg of the tour when Rex called and said, "Don't get on the plane."
Yeah, the same here. We had some crew already in Albany. We were doing maybe 4 days of pre-production because it was a new record, and so lighting was already there. Some sound people were already there. And then we pulled the plug, I think, on a Tuesday. And it was right when it was getting critical. And it was a hard thing to do because, you know, the relationship we have with the people that come to our shows, and, you know, doing all the research on pandemics of the past, it did not look good. And we had to kind of pull the plug. We were right on the cusp there. NCAA, Major League Baseball, they hadn't pulled the ripcord yet, but we had to, and we talked about trying to do the pre-production and playing a couple shows in Canada, and I mean it would have been a nightmare, and it was a nightmare, and it still is. It's a nightmare, and I think that's why we're here today, to talk about all these crew people
here.
Musicians on a smaller level. You know, we're very fortunate, and we've, you know, our group, without trying to say too much, we've done everything we have had the power to do to make sure that our people are still getting paid. But as we see the length of this, and because of perhaps the lack of federal direction, we don't know when things are going to get better and when we can go back to our jobs, which you know, that's the good news and the bad news. Our jobs, were so fortunate to play for large groups of people. The bad news is that's the last thing that's going to happen.
And it affects so many people.
People don't realize. And, you know, if people realize that you're getting, you know, what, like 50,000 phone calls and 70,000 emails, you know, that's people are really, it's a critical time right now. And, oh, look at here. Oh, why, thank you. See, we're keeping people working around here.
That's great.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, can I have that Zippo so I can pop this beer open? Okay, thank you. Oh, look at that. That's the...
Oh, my goodness.
That was from the Wembley gig we made.
I didn't get one of those.
Oh, shoot. Well, here, I'll open it with another. I'll send you this one.
I don't get anything.
Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm back. I don't know if you can see in the corner, I've got my John Entwistle Museum.
I do.
Maybe I should show it up close. Might be difficult, but So this would be like a print. This is a classic.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then, but then that's a print, but then these are all real.
Wow.
Yeah, and then up top you have, see if I can get this. Oh, it might not come through, I can't tell, but those are all real. There's a Keith on my right, Raj in the middle, and then a headless Pete on the left. But yeah.
You know what I got, Eddie?
Did you know John that well? I can't. Oh, what do you got?
Can you see it?
Oh, that's a Fustercluck.
There you go. You got John. I got a chicken.
he'd approve.
Actually, John, did I know John well? Here's how well I knew John. We spent a night in jail together in Toronto.
I've not heard this story.
No.
What do you got? All right. What's
John
going on?
and I, in 1994, which is when I first started working with Roger, he had done this, the Pete Townsend thing at Carnegie Hall, the music of Pete Townsend with an orchestra. That was the first time he had done that.
For his birthday? Roger, the 50th birthday?
Yeah, Roger, the 50th birthday.
I was there, yeah, yeah.
So then I got hired to conduct the tour. And for whatever reason, John and I really palled up for the entirety of that tour, which got me into a whole lot of trouble 2 times. As you know, John liked his Remy, and he liked everybody around them to like his Remy. So once in Toronto, we were sitting in the Four Seasons bar, and no one was bugging us. But between the two of us, we went through about 6 bottles of Remy in 2 hours, and then really had to pee. And we were a little too lit to find the restroom. So we went, we exited the glass doors in the lobby of the Four Seasons in Toronto and peed in the street.
Oh, well, there's that little fountain thing too. You didn't?
Yeah, that's where we
in the
peed.
boat?
Yeah, that's where we peed.
In the moat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the local police were not really that fond of that. So whoever our tour manager at the time was, I think he's since passed, had to come get us out of a Toronto jail. And then the other time, it was his birthday, and we were playing Vegas, and we had finished sound check. I was expecting friends and my then wife to come to the show. And John said, come, let's celebrate my birthday. So we went to one of those, like, you know, sort of creepy bars in the Sahara Hotel. Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like where you sit there and play video poker. And so 5 o'clock, we finished sound check, 5 o'clock comes, 6 o'clock comes, 7 o'clock comes, 8 o'clock comes. Around 8:30, I look at my watch and I said, John, we're on. We're on now.
Oh, this is day of.
This is day of. We are on now. And so we make it back to the showroom. There's a 70-piece union orchestra sitting there. I don't know how I get through the overture, but somehow I do. And John in that show didn't come in till 3 or 4. Yeah, flapping my arms. No click tracks, by the way. Zach was on the gig. Simon was on the gig. Billy Nichols was on the gig. Jody Linscott. So I get off. So yeah. John doesn't come on until the middle of the show. And I go off stage for a number while they're playing like You Better, You Bet or something like that. And John's standing in the wings with yet another bottle of brandy. And he's just like, he's teasing me on. And so I do it. The next thing I remember is I'm at the Four Seasons. I was in Vegas. The next thing I remember is being at the Four Seasons in LA. I guess the next morning to rehearse the Tonight Show that night. I have no memory of how I got from vape, and I blame it all on John. Totally his fault.
What was the name of one of his songs on It's Hard? Maybe called. It was called Dangerous.
Dangerous. John was dangerous. Very dangerous. I miss
But
him.
they also, his other song, Quiet One, but really he had the best stories. And if you were in a position to hear him and be able to understand, if it wasn't a loud room, you could hear him because, his the way he spoke was kind of quiet and a bit underneath.
Very low.
Throat is like, well, and then we beat off each other. And a lot of times he was so gracious. I remember because we'd be smoking, both of us. Terrible thing to do, but he'd let me just get right next to his ear, just so I could hear, the punchline to the joke. He's just told 3 minutes. He just spent 3 minutes telling. I was so fortunate to have that time with him. We'd see each other once, twice a year. And yeah, he did like to stay up late and just hang out after he's played an incredible gig. And we all know that sometimes you have a little bit of adrenaline after a show, and it's a little hard to just, if you put yourself to bed, you'd just be staring at the ceiling for a while. So
He always used to say to me, I hope you're conducting yourself in an appropriate manner. He liked to use the word conducting.
Conducting.
Yeah, you conducted that all wrong tonight.
That's perfect. That is exactly
almost till the day he died.
What's that?
He would always have that same, every time he saw me, you better be conducting yourself in an appropriate manner.
Yep. Yeah, he said, yeah. One time he said to me, like, don't scratch it. It won't get Eddie Vedder.
That's good, man.
Yeah, we had one, I've got a bottle of Remy, an empty bottle of Remy. We ended up in my room after a House of Blues gig for charity. And there was a couple shows, but there was one, it was Bobby Pridden, Zach, myself, my brother. But we just ended up in a corner with this bottle of Remy, not a big room or anything. And, but there was a booklet that came with this, there was a box set from many years ago called Maximum R&B, and it had this kind of rectangle booklet, which was detailed. And we kind of went through every picture, just, talking about the old days of putting dippity-doo in his hair, the early mod photos, the early, from the 70s to the, what guitar was that? What kind of pickups are those? Is that the Sun system that you were playing through? I mean, it was just incredible stories. But yeah, we only went through one bottle between the two of us, which I thought was a lot until tonight.
Yeah, nothing.
It could have been much worse.
You are a wuss. Cubs fan and a wuss.
Well, but at least I remember the stories.
Yeah, that's true. So here we are, all unemployed, living the dream. What you doing with your time?
I've been fortunate where, one nice thing is connecting. Father's Day, I was very blessed to get these nice cards from my daughters and my wife, and all independent of each other. They actually said, obviously the COVID thing's been the worst thing in our lifetimes, but on the plus side, it's been good having you around, Dad. So
you said your daughter's doing some TikTok stuff, right?
Oh, well, I think they're like every other, but yeah, between them and Sarah Cooper, TikTok's a pretty good thing. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, we're starting to do some. I don't know if you got a chance to look at any of the videos I sent
I
you,
did.
um, but
I'm
Fustercluck is moving into the TikTok world.
with your daughter.
Yeah, with
Is that
my
what I heard? Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
she's on the team.
I tell you the one called Pedophile Isle, that's pretty deep.
I always say that's as low as we go.
That's hardcore, as it should be.
I kind of like the Bon Jovi one.
That was good. You give us a bad name.
Yeah,
Is that how it went?
yeah. And total destruction of Trump. I mean, he's a heinous individual, right? I mean, we just have to get him out of office.
You know, it's so crazy. A few months ago, as much as I was unable to find anything kind of, there's never been any redeeming qualities. But even a few months ago, it was like hoping he would do something right, hoping, because it's not whether I don't want him to fail a country. I don't want him to fail our livelihoods. Like I really was rooting for him. Like, come on, get this shit together, and you have a chance to change my mind and to rescue the country from really where we've ended up now. I was rooting for the guy, but that didn't help, and we're in a hardcore situation. And now with a critical vote coming up, and wondering if our mail-in ballots will count, wondering if our democracy is still in good stead. This is one of those times where we can't take anything for granted. And, we really do. We need to come out as voters, and, it's almost like you have to win the World Series, not just win it's not just winning game 7. You have to win game 7 by like 10 runs for it to count. So I think that's encouraging. It's inspiring. Let's get the job done and do the work, and start repairing our country, and bring each other back together, because the divisiveness has just been, and then being forced to be apart hasn't helped at all. But it's a critical time in this whole planet's existence, but our country in particular. And I know that there's fans out there or people that like our music that might not have this same political views, and I certainly respect that. But at least I would like everyone who wants to be able to vote to have the opportunity to vote, to have a place to vote, or a mail-in ballot that will be counted. I think what's also key is that we're asking people to pledge by mail and then vote early. I think voting early is going to be a big issue.
Well, I've been trying to take my angst and putting it into trying to help musicians. There's so many of us who are left devastated by this, and so many of us who have, whether, you and I are lucky, but there are people who have never had to navigate the waters of unemployment before, and aid, And that's really where Fustercluck came from. I was doing an article with Rolling Stone, and I actually said it's a clusterfuck. And I thought, oh, if I turn that around, I can make a Fustercluck. And then I can write these ridiculous videos and print up some t-shirts and give the money to Music Cares to give to others. And so that's kind of been the mission of that. So we do these, you know, and to me, it's an apolitical musicians caring and knowing, and I think we all believe that music matters, right? Music matters.
Oh, I mean, for some of us, it's everything. And I'm talking about before I even knew how to play an instrument. I talked to somebody about some mental health issues, and every answer I had is to, you know, going back to a young kid or deepest, darkest depression. It ended up where I didn't anticipate this, but every answer I gave was that music helped me through it. This band helped me through it. That band helped me through it. That song helped me through it. And I know that from, you know, incredibly, you know, being on the receiving end of some people saying that, you know, you really helped me during a trying time with a certain song that you wrote. You know, they're kind of compelled to tell you that. And I always try to tell them, well, the music was, you know, you did the work, you know, the music maybe just was a little bit of a life raft for a minute there. But I know what they're talking about because I went through it myself, and we're talking from Quadrophenia to Talking Heads to the Germs to Sex Pistols, Ramon, you know, like it was, you know, it was a complete lifeline. And so does music matter? Yes. Do the
and
people
musicians matter.
you know, I mean, look, if you're going to be a musician, you know that it might not all turn out well. I mean, it's a dicey, you know, I mean, like even your, you know, from your parents to your teachers, to your friends, even your best friends, you're like, oh, you want to be a musician? They're like, yeah, good luck with that. Like, what are the odds of being successful? But now you've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of people that make their living at it, and they've worked hard and they've scrapped their way to be able to do that for a living, and that's just been absolutely taken away with no live shows. And
it's not just us, it's the roadies, it's the coach drivers, it's merch people.
I
It's,
don't care about us. Yeah,
yeah,
I know. That's yeah.
yeah. Well, again, that's why we're Fuster clucking. we're, we're, we're clucking for everybody who needs our help right now. And you know, we think the videos are amusing. We hope people like them, but more importantly, you know, buy a damn t-shirt, help out a friend, help out a ticket taker, buy a guitar.
Well, Music Cares is for, you know, decades now, just been an incredible resource for musicians in dire straits, and now we're seeing it. You know, that now there's so many people that have that, unfortunately, in common. So I'm sure they've never been this inundated with need.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'm here with Keith to tell everyone out there, if you're out there and you have the resources, if you want to buy some merch from Keith and you want to support Music Cares, it's all going directly to these great musicians, crew members, people that they weren't on the stage. Well, they might have been on the stage when you were at these great shows that you saw, but they were, you know, in the back, making it all happen. In fact, they were the ones who got there earlier than us and that stayed there later than us, doing the real work and then setting up in the next city. It's a whole family of, you know, our crew family is as important as our real family. It's a vagabond lifestyle, and it's not easy. It's just not easy. So we're really hoping that anything you can do, and a t-shirt here and there, or supporting the cause, or donating to Music Cares. And then, Keith, we were maybe going to come up with an idea that maybe in the next week or two we can come up with maybe a t-shirt with my name on it, or a guitar. We do like maybe a special edition.
Yeah, we'd like to do an auction thing, special edition auction thing.
We'll figure out something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll make it nice. A lot of people they've got time on their hands these days, but they don't necessarily know what to do. Keith, I just wanted to thank you for not staying silent, for using your powers of relationships and gravitas of pulling some people together to help other people. I know it's been effective, and I'm really grateful because you're in the trenches, and it's powerful. Okay, Keith.
Peace, man. Thank you.
All right. Love you, brother. All right.
Take care.
Hey, look who's here.
Hey, Fuster.